There was a point in my life where I made the decision that changed the way that I lived every single day. While everyone around me was chasing girls, going out every weekend, spending their time trying to impress people, I was chasing money. Personal growth, self-development, the whole nine yards. I convinced myself that relationships could wait, that dating could wait, that all those experiences would still be there later down the line. But right now, I needed to focus on building something for myself. I needed to get ahead. I needed to get financially ahead. I needed to become somebody, you know? So while other people were out living their best life, going to parties, etc., I was inside working late nights, waking up early, taking long shifts, and just learning new skills in order to make more money and create a successful business. Basically doing everything that I could have to create a life that would eventually give me freedom. The goal was 3 freedoms: time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom. So nobody controls my time, nobody controls my money, I'm not reliant on anyone for money, and I can live wherever I want without being tied down to some place. And at the time, I truly believed that I was doing the smartest thing possible because everybody else was just creating memories. And I was like, hey, that could wait. Right now, let's build an empire. And honestly, I in some ways, I still think that the path I'm going on is the correct one because, I learned sacrifice, delayed gratification, and playing the long game instead of chasing instant validation, where like chasing girls, etc., it just wasn't a good use of my time. Everybody else seemed to be doing the exact opposite, where everyone was taking the left exit, I was taking the right exit. So most people were focused on attention, affection, love, living in the moment. I was focused on the future. I wanted freedom, money, options, and the ability to wake up one day knowing that I built something with my own hands. I built a company from the ground up. But the longer that I stayed in that mindset, the more I started to realize something deeper. That money can absolutely change your life, right? But it cannot replace connection, specifically human connection. And I'm noticing right now we kind of have this loneliness epidemic where everyone is just connected online, but it's harder to get that face-to-face connection. Ultimately though, there were nights where I would just stop and think about the fact that everybody was creating stories, memories, relationships. They had people beside them, whereas all I had was the numbers, the goals, and work. I had a growing bank account. I had a really successful business. I had a vision, but there were times where I felt like something was missing. That's when I started to understand that money solves a lot of problems, but it doesn't solve emptiness, loneliness, or the need for human connection. And on one of my other videos, I talk about how I work night shift. And night shift is a very lonely time because the whole world is turned off. You don't get texts, you don't get notifications, nothing like that. Everybody's sleeping, you're working. So I kind of have a very unique perspective in that sense because you don't find many 20-year-olds working night shift, right? I was working night shift even during college. I would work until 5, 6, 7 in the morning. I would skip all of my AM classes, block out as many classes as I could in the afternoons just to build a successful company. But ultimately, without making this video too long, what I learned from chasing money instead of girls is that success is more than just a number. In my head, my 18-year-old self, I'm thinking, hey, if he has $1 million, he's the shit. Money does give you freedom, right? It will remove a lot of stress out of your life. It will buy time, but it doesn't automatically make you fulfilled. Real fulfillment, I believe, now being 23, it comes from balance. Build yourself, chase your goals, become successful, but don't become so obsessed with winning that you forget to actually live your life. Because one day you might wake up with everything you thought you wanted and still realize that there's a part of you and a part of life that you missed along the way. Money is a tool, don't get me wrong, but the people, memories, and experiences, that's what makes the entire journey feel worth it. If you're in a season where you need to focus on yourself, do it, work hard, experience the loneliness, go out and build something meaningful. But don't lose sight of the fact that success is more than just money, okay? Sometimes the people who look very rich on paper still feel emotionally broke. And one way that I am currently mitigating, I guess, this problem of only being focused on the numbers and the goals, etc., is I'm trying to take more vacations. Because when you're doing the same routine of building a business every single day, the days start to blend together and they start to go by really, really fast. So one thing that I'm doing now is I'm trying to take vacations, experience an entirely new environment, experience new culture, new people, and kind of break that cycle. And what I've noticed is my days on vacation, time just goes slower. You know, I appreciate it more. And a lot of my friends think I'm crazy that I like to go on like 2 or 3 vacations per year. But for me, it's kind of like a reward system that, hey, you're working so hard, go out and actually live your life. My way of doing that is now through travel. And for someone else, it could be something entirely different. You know, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever works for you. But outside of the money, in this channel, I'm going to tell you to work your butt off and make a lot of money. But I'm also going to tell you that don't just focus on the destination. You need to fall in love with the journey. And a big element of the journey is also finding balance in your everyday life, finding human connection. And, you know, maybe now is the time, maybe now is the season where I could chase girls. But I still stand by, I guess, the idea of first bettering yourself and then bringing in a partner into your life, not the other way around. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. I've been having a ton of fun making these videos for you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying them as well. And with that, we will catch you on the next one.